Hi, I'm back. So, this is another thing I want to talk about, another red flag, slut shaming. So, I'll share a little bit about my boyfriend and I. I have never once asked my boyfriend how many people he's had sex with, and he has never once asked me how many people I've had sex with. If you get into a new relationship and that person asks you how many people you've had sex with, that's a red flag. It should not matter how many sexual relations you've had with other people. Your experiences are your experiences. And should you choose to share that with your partner, awesome, go for it. But I don't feel compelled to share these things with David because it doesn't matter. It's not a part of our relationship anymore. And if for the purposes of healing, I felt the need to share it with him, he would be gladly there for me and he would listen to everything that I need to, get off my chest. Because I have been abused quite a bit. Especially in the sexual realm because of, the way I've projected myself. There is quite a bit of healing that needs to be done in that area. And I know that I can speak to him about it because he understands the concept of putting the lover away and being my friend. And really listening to what I think and what I feel on all levels. And that there is no taboo topics between him and I either. We can talk about anything, and we should be able to. Something that I endured through my abuse was being slut-shamed. I was made to feel guilty and terrible and ashamed of myself for, the previous sexual partners that I had had. I grew up with a serious lack of guidance. I had no father, so no man ever came along, in my life. That was a solid figure during my developmental years to the degree that was helpful enough for me to, not crave that male attention. And so there was a certain level of promiscuity that happened as a result, because nobody had ever sat there and said, sweetie, when a man acts like this is really what he wants. So I lacked that knowledge, and it was all through trial and error that I figured out the hard way what men really want when they do this or when they do that. So in a healthy relationship, you're never going to be judged for that. And shame on anyone out there. The real shame belongs on the shoulders of the people who are judging. We live in a fucked up world, and for you to sit there and pass judgment on somebody's sexual experiences, you don't know why they ended up in that position. You don't know what happened to them or what they lacked in their life that made them that way. So try to have compassion for people in that sense. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who is making you feel bad or questioning your previous sexual partners in insecure ways, get out of that relationship. It is not healthy and it is not normal to do that to another person. I was slut shamed. How I dressed was ridiculed. I was told to, cover up and all sorts of things. I ended up becoming a person who just hung out in workout gear because that's all I felt safe in. It's not okay to do that to a woman. Another thing that happened, that evolved through the slut shaming was my partner made fun of my body a lot. They had said some really terrible, terrible things to me. They had made fun of my chest. Had told me things like that they had never had larger breasts before, and they wasn't the part of their preference before, but they would get used to it. And, I was told that, that I was okay down there, but I was, looser than their ex-girlfriend. And, just things like that it's just, whether it was true or not, I'll never know to this day. But the thing is that it was planted in my mind, and, it was something that I eventually started, tearing myself down about as well. And, this person exploited some of our sexual details, in group situations as well, and made fun of me in front of other people, and said some of these terrible things about me, to other people. So, if you have a partner who is anything but supportive of your sexuality and respectful, that's another thing. Everybody has their own sets of insecurities, sexually, and over time, obviously damage can be done from partners who are abusive, and there should never be any pressure. And there's one thing that I once again need to thank my boyfriend, who is redefining so many things for me, because I've been conditioned now sexually, and that is sexual abuse when somebody plants, terrible thoughts like that in your mind, because it affects your sexuality. It's as well very mentally and emotionally abusive. So, but I have to thank my partner now for, constantly always reassuring me that, this is my body. I own my own body. They do not own the right to my body. And should I choose to give my body up to that person, it is my choice, solely my choice. And thank you so much, David, for always showing me that it is my body and my choice. And if you're with somebody who makes you feel like it's not your body and it's not your choice, and that you need to give that person sex because they need it, that's disrespectful. You should never ever feel that way. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who, there's certain key subtle little things that would happen as well, like refusing to look you in the eyes when, lovemaking is something where there's a deep connection between two people. And, eye contact is huge, and that just further, implements the shame. So that person should never say anything about your body, ever. If they are with you for your body, then they shouldn't be with you, and you shouldn't be with them. The only reason that we should be with anyone is because we fit, and mentally and emotionally. Our physical form is just a piece of who we are. The only thing I agree with when it comes to our physical form is, health. If you're a severely obese person, I have nothing against people who are obese as people, but that is the only time that I would say that talking about another person's physical form is should ever be on the table. But it should never be in a way that you're deconstructing them or their value. You should be telling them how much they're worth and encouraging them to make the right choices for their physical form, for longevity in your relationship, and for their overall health and wellness. So, but men out there who slut shame women, the real shame belongs on your shoulders. It's not okay to do that to a woman. There is a double standard there for sure. My ex would constantly talk about his sexual experiences, with all of the grace in the world, because he's a man and it was okay for him to have those experiences, but I was shamed for having them and wanting to talk about them ever. I went through a lot of trauma, and I would try to speak to this person about, some of the traumas that I had been through, growing up without a father, and what that did to me, and, some of the phases that I went through. And I was forced to omit pieces of who I am to make this person feel comfortable, because they just couldn't accept that I had had these experiences. And it's never going to be easy listening to somebody you love talk about, the pain that they went through, especially knowing that they were abused in a physical sense. And sexuality is a very sensitive thing for a lot of people. But it's not your job to judge that person because of what they went through. It is your job to simply keep your mouth shut, unless you have something valuable to say and to contribute to their healing. And it's your job to hug and hold that person while they cry, be, a listener, because ultimately listening is love. When you listen to a person, that is love. Keeping your mouth shut long enough for a person to get whatever pain and emotional poison is consuming them out of their body, that is love in its finest form. So don't slut shame people. And don't judge people based on their experiences sexually. We all get to our own, place in time in our own ways, and it's not up to other people to judge you. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.